yourself.
My name is Matthew.
Hi, Brian.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Matthew's from Laurier, and he's part of the Bitcoin Club there.
He just came to the meeting one day at the university and says, I love Bitcoin. What's this Bitcoin club? We actually got him an internship this summer to go to El Salvador, all expenses paid, to work on Bitcoin adoption as part of his student trip. So he was somebody who was just interested in Bitcoin on the internet. He says, I like Bitcoin, but I've never met another Bitcoiner in person. He came to the meetings, we hooked him up with the community, we got him a grant, and now he's going on a plane to El Zonte, Bitcoin Beach, and he's going to spend a summer there televising his whole experience.
Do you know Gabe?
Gabe, yeah, I know Gabe,
Okay,
yes.
He's there now.
Yeah.
They'll be friends. They're both from London,
Cool,
so they'll
okay.
connect over that. Here's an event that we ran. Actually, Pac-Man was there. We did an event in Waterloo. It was the first ever Bitcoin Developer Day. So when we're connected with all these other clubs, there's this organization called the Bitcoin Students Network. So here's a club from Brazil, Clube Bitcoin UMB. There's one of them. Oh, here's two of my classmates. Here's Fiona. Dad does. And then she came when she found us, and I said, well, would you look at that? You know. So there's this organization called the Bitcoin Students Network, which is really cool. So every club that's like a Bitcoin student club like we have, we're members of this greater worldwide organization called the Bitcoin Students Network. And then we have a Telegram group where you can chat with everybody. Here's Arsh and Ella, they are the organizers for the group. And all over the world, Canada, United States, Brazil, Mexico, Europe, Africa, in Asia. Our group is how we onboard all the students to the different job opportunities. So we have the Summer of Bitcoin coming up. This is one way that students can get internships in the Bitcoin world. So we onboard students into their Bitcoin jobs. We tell people this is the skill set that you need to build and then what you need to develop in order to be hooked up with a Bitcoin employer. Mainly focused on the Bitcoin developer industry because that's my world, and we're also branching to connect with the Bitcoin mining world as well. So here's just more interesting stuff. You can see all the different clubs are in sync with each other. So when we have an event here in Waterloo, the people find out about it at Cornell. There's several Ivy League universities that are interested in it, and we all share the same resources together. We all share the same opportunities to get grants. And the reason why this is so urgent and prescient that I want to explain is that the crypto people are out there and they sponsor their own crypto university clubs. This happens at the University of Waterloo. This happens at, Dalhousie in Canada. This happens at Ryerson. This happens in all these other places where these big companies like Ripple, the Ethereum Foundation, Solana, they come to the universities. They find and they find young, vulnerable students who have not been burned before. So they just believe anything you tell them, and they tell them, listen, kid, crypto's the future. Come with me, and we can say bad things about Bitcoin together, and I'll give you a salary. Students are getting crazy amounts of money, like just for going and running these events and promoting Solana meme coins and promoting like the various different coins. And they are actively going around to all the schools and buying out all the students. And there has not been, until Bitcoin Students Network, a grassroots movement for students to resist this and rebel against it. And they have, like, in Uptown Waterloo, where they have all those student bars, recently they had a blockchain and beers night. So you go to the bar, they try to pick the most popular bar, you know what I mean? Because we're all nerds. So you really gotta bedazzle. I was like, wow, I'm going to the coolest bar in Waterloo, and I got free drinks, and it's like my night, right? And you go there, and they say in order to claim your free drinks, you now have to download this app. There's like a trading app for like trading shitcoins, and we want to see you make a trade. We want to see you like bridge to Solana. We have drinks here, but you have to bridge to Jupiter. Jupiter is like a Solana thing. And so they make you use all the crypto things. They push the pudgy penguins in your face. So like, oh, you gotta get it. And they have pudgy penguins, and they get all the girls in like that. Because the girls don't really know the crypto, but they think the pudgy penguins are cute. So the girls come, and the girls are like, oh, I love pudgy
You guys
penguins.
are so easy to get.
When I first came to Bitcoin, I came to Bitcoin for ideological purposes. So when I came to Bitcoin, it was actually my grandfather who inspired me. He didn't know what Bitcoin was, but as a child, I would sit down at the computer with my grandfather, and he would show me all these documentaries about the conspiracies of the Federal Reserve System and the 13 branches of the Federal Reserve and how we live in a world full of lies and like.
It's good parenting. Right?
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and then I tell him like my default understanding of the world is the conspiracy world. Like that's just what the world is to me. I never got like the moon landing is real. I never was part of that world, right? So then I was just on the internet like watching Ron Paul videos. You guys know Ron Paul? Yeah. So I was like watching Ron Paul, and then through Ron Paul, I found people talking about Bitcoin, and they're like, well, Bitcoin is like digital gold. And then what I did is I went on Kijiji, and then I just went to meet up with someone to buy Bitcoin, and I gave him the cash, he gave me the Bitcoin. And then I said, okay, that was my first time buying Bitcoin. And then I went on meetup.com, And then I found there was one meetup, and it's a Toronto Bitcoin Core developer meetup. I had no idea what Bitcoin Core was. I didn't know anything. I went there. It was Peter Todd was there leading the meeting. If you guys know Peter Todd, it was me, Peter Todd, and like 3 other people in the room.
Wow.
There was like nobody cared about Bitcoin at the time, and it was like Peter Todd and a whiteboard, and he was like explaining like. This is before SegWit. This is like very early. It's like P2PK era, like 2014, 2015, the Bitcoin Dev Talk, right? And yeah, so that was my introduction to that. So then I was still around this world when Ethereum, these other coins came in and crypto took over, but I never resonated with it. And what happened was that they would have all these lavish parties, and I would go to the party and say, yeah, but this isn't Bitcoin. This is not what I signed up to be part of. Not because Bitcoin was missing, but just the feeling I got from the people, that they was not the same community. The crypto people are a different community. They have different goals, they have different values, and they don't care about the same things that Bitcoiners care about. That's what I got. So I would go to this Bitcoin meetup, or this crypto meetup in Toronto, and all these Ethereum people are there, and they're like, oh yeah, I just got back from Burning Man, and I was eating mushrooms and ziplining with Larry Page. And I'm like, yeah, like, sure, this sounds like you got a good time, but what does that have to do with ending the Federal Reserve? Right, like, aren't we here like on an ideologically driven mission? No, they're not. That's the crazy thing. They are here to have their moment where I become a celebrity, launch my coin, and then cash out, and then leave, and then everybody takes turns down the line in this thing. So that's how I was able to evade it, because I just was not interested in playing that game with them. But in a period of time, I was straying away from the Bitcoin community. I was not connected to groups like we have tonight. And as soon as I reunified together with the Bitcoin community, everything clicked back into place to me. It was like I took a time machine back to when I was with Peter Todd in the room, and I was on like Reddit's anarcho-capitalism, like reading about all this stuff. It was like it took me right back, and I realized the number one thing that people need is access to the community. So any student who walks in the door, we got to show them, listen, oh, here's when we all went to Curacao.
Oh, nice.
It's like a joke, right? Someone from our school, we didn't actually go there, it's in Photoshop. His name is Peter Kroll. He's actually the inventor of the original Bitcoin paper wallet. So that this is before they had the mnemonic phrase, like the words that you write down. That was added in later. Before that, they didn't have that. There was Poirier. And then what happened was he basically just took all his Bitcoins and went to Curacao. Basically, through my adventures, I've also started my own internship in the Bitcoin developer world. So I'm now working at this company, Second Tech, and what we're doing is we're building an implementation of the ARC protocol. And I want to do a demo here tonight to show you just getting up and running with ARC. So are you guys familiar with Bitcoin Lightning? This is a block explorer. So what you can see here is this is every 10 minutes the next Bitcoin block comes. Each one of these blocks has a upper limit on how many transactions it can hold. You can see how many they have. Generally, the absolute limit is around 6,000 transactions. You'll never see more than that. So how can we have more transactions? We have to transact off-chain. So we have to have different scaling solutions, like the Lightning Network or now ARC. ARC is the only true layer 2 that is not Lightning, because there's a lot of companies today who say, oh, we are a new Bitcoin layer 2. They are not actually a layer 2 for Bitcoin. It's just marketing. And the reason why is because they cannot perform something called a unilateral exit. So if it's a true layer 2, it means that when you have your Bitcoin in the layer 2, you can withdraw your Bitcoin back to regular on-chain Bitcoin into your hard wallet without needing the permission of the counterparty. So if you have your money in, like, now Cardano is making a layer 2, there's like Citrea layer 2, there's all these different layer 2s, you need the permission of the counterparty in order to make that withdrawal. Yes. This demo, just to inspire people, they can go home. This is something brand new. So the ARC protocol has now launched on Signet, which is like a test net for Bitcoin. And we're gonna do a sample payment, the first ever ARC transaction in the city of Guelph. So it's a historic moment here tonight, and you don't wanna miss that.
Wow.
So what's really cool about ARC is that ARC it doesn't replace Lightning. It works together with Lightning. So you can pay Lightning invoices using ARC. So it does not come to replace Lightning or to try and put it down in any type of way, but it's paving the path forward beyond Lightning payments. And also you can pay with it any way that you want. So here I have PowerShell open, if you guys are familiar with command prompts. So I have an empty ARC directory right here. So I'm following along with the tutorial. You can all follow this tutorial at home if you're interested. So you can just download the ARC executable directly through the Windows command prompt. So what I'm doing right now is I'm downloading, I'm getting the file. So right now the file is downloading locally onto my machine. Oh, it's there at the top. And so So something that people run into issues with Bitcoin Lightning is that there's something called the inbound liquidity problem. So you can do Bitcoin Lightning custodially very good, like if you're using a system like Coinos, that works very well. But if you want to have a fully custodial Lightning node, you have an issue where you have to purchase liquidity. So if I want to start receiving payments, I have to pay into the system before I receive my first payment. And a lot of people don't like that because it's like, what? You can't just like receive a payment with Arc. You can. So here now I have a file on my computer. It's called bark.exe. I can actually show you in the folder itself. Yeah, so the folder here is my Arc folder at bark.exe. And then what I can do is I can just run it like an executable. So bark.exe. And then I have a command line interface. So I can create a new wallet, use the on-chain wallet, and so on. So I'm just going to follow along here with the tutorial guide. So we're going to create our wallet. So I'm just going to copy paste in this code. Oh, I was not doing the command right at the beginning of the Bark. Oh, it already exists, so I'm actually already ready to go. That's good. And now let me check my Bark balance. So thank you. Balance. So what we have right here, this is a command line interface, but in the future, this will be linked into any real UI that you can see in a wallet. Like you have like an interface you're clicking on the screen, but this is a very, very early sneak peek. Like 5 years from now, everybody's going to be talking about this, like how they talk about Bitcoin Lightning today. And you're like, oh yeah, of course, Arc Network, Arc Protocol, of course. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Bark BTXO pub key. What that is like my receiving address. So right here, I can take this and go to the faucet. The faucet is where I can receive Signet Sats, which is like a test Bitcoin. Just have to log in with GitHub. I send myself 100,000 Sats and success. So I've just received the payment, and I'm going to now run the balance. And we're going to see, has my balance increased? Yes, it has. So you can see my balance previously was 21,000 Sats, and now it's up to 121,000 Sats. So there's a Bitcoin payment right there. We didn't have to wait for any of the confirmation times. We didn't have to load up any Lightning channels. We didn't have to do anything complicated. You could just send and receive payments. Kind of like how people think Bitcoin works when we tell them about it. You know, when we're all excited about Bitcoin, you think, oh, you just send Bitcoin money, and then they run into all these issues like, what do you mean the next block? What do you mean it's unconfirmed? So with Arc, when you're settling off-chain, the payment just gets sent.
Is that real or is that the test net?
Oh, this is all testnet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to make a payment. So we actually have a test store online to show that when we have the Bark, we can pay Lightning invoices. So if you want to make a payment over Bitcoin Lightning, you can also do that with Arc. So we're going to purchase the.
Will this work off-chain, or sorry, offline? Like,
No,
or
you need
needs
internet
Okay,
connection.
got it.
Yeah. So we're going to buy the Merkle bone. So what we have here, this is a standard Lightning address, or a Lightning invoice. So I'm going to come in here, and then now I have to send to that. Let's try Bark send. See what the command is. And success. So we have we've made the payment, and let's see here. On the screen. Payment sent successfully, and here paid. Thank you. So the payment was instantly received. That's Arc payments, right there. And the first one ever done in Guelph, Ontario, Canada. Good job, Guelph. So it's really cool. I'm really happy for the opportunity to have an opportunity to work with this company. And this is another opportunity that came to us through, once again, the Bitcoin Students Network. And so my message is just for all the young people, we have the path open in front of you. Like when it was Bitcoin 5-10 years ago, it was really hard to like connect with the community. It was hard to see where's the opportunity, how can I have a career, what are even the companies where I can get a job doing this thing, because the path has not been laid out in Bitcoin, but the crypto people have. And we're in a fight, you know, it's like an ideological battle for young talent and getting young minds on board to the project early. So people who resonate with Bitcoin, they feel the call and then they come to it, and they just have to get the message out there, and whoever feels that this is something that they're interested in, they will come naturally to the movement when they're ready. So thank you very much, everybody, for your